everyone, welcome back to our Age of Empires 4 commentary. I am Beyond, and today we have another matchup coming to you from the Call to Arms tournament, and this is in the group stages between Louis MT in the purple as the Ottomans with the Serpent in the middle, and across the way on EGC's map Rocky Canyon, we have Numidion playing as the Malians in the red. I will leave EGC TV's link in the description below if you want to go check out the tournament that's being casted live. It's on every single weekend for the foreseeable future, so I would highly recommend going and check it out. There's some absolute banger of matches going on at all times over there. And then a lot of community casters on Twitch also cast the rest of the group stage. Now, this matchup is definitely a tricky one for the Malians. The Malians currently sit at a 35.2% win rate across 219 games at Conqueror and above in this matchup. And then across all ranks, the Malians sit at a 39.5% win rate across 2.9 thousand games. This is probably because, as we can see already, the military school is already up. The build order for the Ottomans, if you do want to get that early military school, is send 5 over to the stone outcropping over here, bring them back, then send them right over to wood to pick up a few more for that house, and then we can go right into gold. But that gets you that early spearman, which is exactly what you want against the Malians. The Malians struggle a lot against early pressure, especially early pressure on this pit mine over here. Now, unfortunately for Numidion, every single house is able to be burned down without the help of the TC. Sometimes you get lucky and you can put the Sahara Trade Network with it just slightly in range of the TC so you can actually protect itself. But at this point, almost everything is kind of out of range, and they could slap the Sahara Trade Network right here, but even then they would be able to get poked down eventually if they decide to go that route. And if they go for Manzana Quarry, there's going to be nothing to save these houses. So we're going to probably see at least 2 to 3 houses go down, unless Numidion decides to adjust the build order quite differently and get a very early couple Donzos out. That's the only way to really fully protect yourself. I've been seeing a lot more Malians essentially always go Donzo in almost every matchup. They're super strong. They have poke damage from afar, so even if they are outnumbered, they can do chip damage with those throwing those spears. But here's the first one already across the way. Louis MT is not taking any chances, and he's sending it right across. The Manzana Quarry is going down on this side of the base, so we will not be seeing the Sahara Trade Network to actually protect this over here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that Louis MT decides to go for kind of an all-in kind of strategy in Feudal Age with those Sipahi and those archers in the back. The Ottomans are so good, and there is the twin minaret, sorry. And that's pretty standard and right on the berries as well. I wonder if that's going to actually cause any issues, or the plan is just to kind of utilize this in a way so that it can actually just take out all this over here. But I'm wondering if that might cause some further issues with the kind of targeting of the villagers that kind of go around this in a grouping to collect the berries, if they might not go auto onto these berries. But we can see the long berated efforts of this spearman and this scout is just going to be to completely take this down 10 HB at a time. And there goes down the first one. And remember, they can't really start to build anything until they get into that feudal age. So one will go down quite quickly. I like this selection here from Louis MT. So what he's doing is he's putting the horse over here, causing it a little bit on fire. This scout actually does a lot of damage, so definitely make sure you bring this if you're an Ottoman player into this matchup. Let it burn down by itself. No need to throw your torches over there like that, and bring it on to the next one. So at least 2 will be going down before we see any Donzos coming out. You can see that Numidion is quite quickly building this. Oh, an archery range actually, instead of going the Donzo route. I do think the Donzo route has some validity as well, because it can help you prevent those, deal with the Sipahi that will be coming your way quite quickly. But these archers will put a stop to all this shenanigans over here. So as I mentioned, you get about 2 done, and there is number 2 on fire, and you can sometimes get 3. It depends on how quickly your opponent adapts. Numidion got out a very early archery range. He put, I think, 4 or 5 villagers on it, which is why it was able to go out so quickly. And as you can see, he's going to completely finish this off just to make sure, and is going to get out with all of those early spearmen, which is very, very important. If you're the Ottoman player, you want to make sure that you get out those early spearmen. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, and you do enjoy the content, please do quickly go like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I'm doing a batch of videos, as I mentioned in the last one, because I'm going to be on vacation. So currently we're sitting around 70 subscribers away from 1,000. So it would be awesome to come back from vacation and see we hit that mark. If not, it's all good. I'm going to keep bringing you 3 to 4 videos a week, no matter what, and a stream a week. So I won't be streaming, though, next week because I will be gone. But after that, I will be back into the normal swing of things, and I'm very, very excited. Now, we can see that we see a lot more stone coming out. That could just be, it looks like we're going to be seeing a second town center, actually, because that's a whole bunch of stone. If you see a little bit of stone being collected by the Ottomans, it might just mean that we might be seeing kind of like, as I mentioned, a feudal age all-in, collecting a few for those 2 to 3 military schools that we'd normally see. But we don't see any production buildings going down for Louis, and we just see a second TC, so it's looking like he's going to use that early eco damage that he did to those houses and call it a day. And I will say Nubanon very, very nicely placed over here for the second pit mine. It's going to be right in range, super, super easy to defend, so Nubanon's going to be pretty happy with this. Probably best case scenario for an early Malian player, but at the same time, they're going to realize that the Ottoman player is going to be going for that second TC, going right on this deer pack over here, and that's going to be super, super nice for the Ottomans. As we saw in the last matchup against the Malians, Wham was playing against the French, which obviously have a much better eco with that upgrade to the ability to produce villagers faster. But at this point, Louis is just going to be ahead in almost every aspect economically, and can, if there's no punishment on the other side, we did see the Malians kind of go for that all-in push. If Louis is able to thwart that or do a little bit of damage to these early Sipahi, he might be sitting in a very, very good spot. The meta is coming out. Don't think the meta needs to be involved in any of this over here. Not nearly big enough of an army to warrant the meta kind of hanging out over here, but you never know. And there it is. The second town center is up and running. The first villagers are popping out, and he's going to have plenty of food to do with whatever he wants. We might be seeing a kind of a 2 TC into Castle Age from the Ottoman player, which is definitely very, very strong. And something that's super good that the Ottomans get is, of course, they might Louis might go up with that landmark compounded defender, which will get you those free mangonels, which will definitely change the tide, especially into the archer mass that the Malians love to build. Yes, the mangonel is very susceptible to Sofa all-in, but if you can get enough stuff to protect it, especially with these Sipahi, then you might be sitting at a decent spot. It depends on your micro, and I will say Louis is top tier, so no doubt about it that it's going to go well. We see another cow booming Malian player. Absolutely shocking no one. It's probably one of the best builds that you can go at the current moment. The other build you can go as the Malians is, of course, the classic kind of fast castle build with the Faber garrison. And that one is just, you pretty much just mass a grouping of sofas and poison archers as quickly as possible, 5 at a time, and you call it a day. The meta's getting a little bit of love from these Donzos, but is going to be able to get out nice and easily. This Sipahi is also kind of making its way out. More are coming on the way because of the passive production from these military schools. The second one is going down right now, and we have a nice little surround over here on the blacksmith. If you are not an Ottoman player and you're confused as to why they do this, it's similar to what the French do with their keeps. They get a boost with the blacksmith of production rates when they are surrounded by over here. That's exactly why you get it. And that's why you always see every Ottoman base almost looking always the same. We do see a lot of villagers over here on gold, which would make me believe that Louis MT is going to be going up to that a Castle Age after this 2 TCs. He doesn't see anything to really warrant anything to make him nervous over here. He sees a tower going down, which is usually indicative of someone just looking to kind of hang out and get into that cow boom, which is what Numanon's doing. It's a very valid strategy. The only issue is that when everyone knows that you're going to be going for that so early on, you see the pastures kind of being created like this, they know they are free to do whatever they want on the back end side. And that's exactly what Louis has been doing. That's what we saw that Wham was doing as well. When they do know what you're going to be going, and if they know that they can be as greedy as possible, if your civilization might not be as good, or in this situation, if your macro just takes a little bit longer to get up in up in line, if they know for sure that they can just go greedy 2 TC in a fast castle and build 3 units, which is exactly what Louis doing, you might be in for a bit of trouble. So as we always talk about, something that Numenon isn't doing, unfortunately, but would love to see him do a bit more. He has a good amount of units. That being said, there is a lot of passive production, and now we see archers as well, so it's probably for the best he doesn't move out. But when you produce this many units, if you're just going to be on the defensive, you don't need this many to actually kind of stop anything from happening. At this point now he does with the Sipahi coming out, but they've been sitting here for a good amount of time, and if they're not going to be, if you're not going to be doing much, essentially it's like wasted resources. And we can see that Numenon is going up for that cow boom. But he's going to be behind Louis MT's Castle Age plus the second TC. Louis MT is sitting in a very, very good spot. And there is the Imperial Armory. I don't know why I said Compounded Defender. That is the incorrect one. The Imperial Armory is the one that produces those siege engines for free. So we're going to be seeing some mangonels hitting the bricks quite soon. And we can see the Sipahi mass is starting to get sizable. We're up to 7 already with that meta running around. These Donzos cannot chase them down quite quickly enough. And there's the Grand Corral. So pretty standard from both sides. We can see that the Sipahi were trying to at least delay this a little bit. And it's going to be about a minute, maybe 30 seconds faster for the Imperial Army to drop, which will give Louis MT just a slight advantage into that Castle Age. Castle Age Sipahi are pretty nice. They're looking pretty good. The archer numbers are starting to get up. We're starting to see all of the economic upgrades coming in for Louis. This scout sitting here knows exactly what's coming at it. This army's just also chilling out over here. And we see this one lonely villager getting as much stone as possible, probably just to produce one more military school. And there it is. And they're all within range of this blacksmith, so it's just a perfect setup for Louis MT to actually get the most value as possible, the best bang for his buck, if you will. We have the upgrades coming in for the spearmen, so we're going to be seeing that. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Sipahi up next, and then maybe the archers. The mangonel is in production. It takes about 2 minutes, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, about 2 minutes to produce fully, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. If the mangonel can get a good shot onto these Donzos, it's going to be a really, really rough fight for Numenon. We have the archer upgrade coming in as well, plus the +1s. All of this will probably be coming up in tow, and now Louis MT is feeling pretty good about moving out across the map. Especially when those archer upgrades come into play, he's going to be feeling really, really good about this. The sofas are starting to be produced now, and they just got their veterancy. The Donzos will be up next. There is the imported armor for the sofas, which make them an absolute monster against range units. And here comes the crossbows in to actually take those bad boys down. Now, we're also seeing lancers coming in, so just sprinkling in pretty much everything from Louis MT. A little bit of everything. It's kind of like like a Chex Mix of an army. Just it has everything, but they're all really good. You know what I'm saying? That's not a bad part of the army. There's not a part that you wouldn't want in there. We see 4 sofas are being 4 Sipahi are in production, 6 sofas. So the cavalry for both sides will be pretty strong, and they're going to be meeting in the middle of the map. Louis MT has an advantage, though, because he's been producing cavalry passively for a long time. We see crossbowmen actually coming out of these military schools, and then we're going to be seeing sofas coming out, and actually we might be seeing a man-at-arms after this next sofa, which is a nice little sprinkle in as well. So we'll have to wait and see if that is the case once this actually pops out. Remember, Sipahi... Sorry, they're just 2 horses, especially horses that are named S's, going absolutely crazy. But Sipahi were nerfed last patch, their production time, and a little bit of their damage on what they cost. So that's why it takes a little bit longer for the Ottomans to get that mass that they normally would have had about 2 months ago up into full fruition. The Janitary Visor Point was used, so dropping those 8 Janitors at your TC, moving them in. They can absolutely crisp these sofas. These guys have a lot of ranged armor, but those Janissaries absolutely destroy armored units, especially men-at-arms. And we also see men-at-arms being sprinkled in over here. This is a pretty massive force for Louis MT. 50 to 32, and there's a lot of armor in here, and there's going to be a mangonel rolling its way over, plus these Janissaries. That is the power of the Ottoman power spike. When they get to Castle Age, they hit that Vizier point, they hit those Janissaries, they hit the mangonel, and they hit it all at once. So if they can make a good timing push into the Malian base with this kind of army, they're going to be sitting in a very, very good spot. We have 10 crossbowmen in here as well. Sipahi as the front line. We have imams going out collecting relics. This is a very, very good push timing for Louis MT. And here it is. We're coming out. That is an absolute seed. Tom Brady of towers over there just peppering the Ottoman army from afar. This relic is going to be taken down. Nope. And here's the full-on engage. The mangonel is in position. We have a Wololo going in, which is a great thing for Numenor. It's going to be able to do a lot of value. The Janissaries are moving back. The Springhold is over here trying to take down this mangonel, which is why it was moving back. Let's see if we can get one shot in. Does it get any value? There's the first shot. Nope. It readjusts. The Springhold goes in. It's going to be taking it down. Only one shot in, but it does have to produce an entire Springhold, and it does get some AoE damage value. The Janissaries, though, are untouched on the backside, which is never good. The Lancers are providing a nice front line for these Janissaries. There's still 10 of them in the back, fighting very, very strong. This range mass has not gone down at all, and Numenon's forces are completely eliminated. That mangonel did its job. It kind of zoned everyone. Numenor with a nice wall, but this all-in timing push was just too good. This Springhold pops out, but there's no mangonel here. You have to worry about the Sipahi in your base. You have to worry about these Janissaries diving everything. Next on the list is these precious cattle, and that's what's going to be selected by Louis MT next after he kills off all these military units. It's going to be going after this cow boom. And if he can get some good value, it's going to be good. And there is the GGs. What a timing push. That is the only disadvantage to going cow boom is if you get timing pushed, because they know exactly when it's going to be hitting that 16 to 17 minute mark. Louis MT was able to go 2 TC, castle, perfect timing, and bam. GG's from both players, played super well. If you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.